Good morning, everybody. This is the last call for everyone to join us in the conference room because we're about to start with the official program of the third day of the 10th Sarajevo Business Forum.
Test. Jel to? Čujem? Dobro. Yes.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you today as well. Hope you're still fresh and ready to rock. I think we're ready to start. We are. Therefore, officially, good morning, honorable guests. Good morning, government representatives. Good morning, project owners. Good morning, investors. Good morning, everybody. It's really nice to see you on the third day of the 10th Sarajevo Business Forum. For those of us who are joining us for the first time, my name is Emela Burđović, and I will be with you today as your master of ceremony. Today we have a very exciting program through different presentations and an amazing panel organizers prepared. But please let me remind you of some really important points of this year's Sarajevo Business Forum. Please use this day for making business meetings. I remind you this is a great opportunity for all of you to visit our B2B rooms and to make new strong business partners. New thing within this year's Sarajevo Business Forum is that our sponsors have the possibility to exhibit in our conference hall, the biggest one of Hills Hotel. On sponsors' booths, they have possibility, as I said, to show everything they do, to present their projects, their business profiles, their services, and it's a great chance for you to communicate with their representatives, to reach out and to get all relevant information. So there's going to be something interesting for everybody on the third day as well as during the two previous ones. Once again, welcome everybody. So let's get started. We're going to start with a presentation, introductory presentation that is called The Future is Now by FlyBosnia. So I would now invite Mr. Chris Gabriel, he's CEO of FlyBosnia. Please give him a big round of applause. Are you ready, Mr. Gabriel?
I'm ready.
The future is now, isn't it?
It is.
Please, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Good morning. Come on, guys. Good morning. Everybody happy? Good. Thank you. Okay, the future is now. What do I mean by that? It's very, very simple. What we decide to do today, how we act, and how we deliver is going to determine how successful we are in the future. If we decide not to do anything, not to act, very, very simply, we will be left behind. So I encourage you to think about that. Now look, there are many examples that have been discussed over the last 2 days of successful foreign direct investment initiatives. EU is a great example. You've got the ASEAN nations. You've also got more recently in the Arab states, and particularly Dubai, UAE. Very, very successful initiatives, seeing more than double foreign direct investment coming in year on year. And you've heard also over the past couple of days about the activities in the West Balkans 6. And you see they're aiming to deliver across the region, focused on investment, focused on trade, labour mobility and digital integration. Not a surprise, obviously very, very good things to do. Now, as part of that West Balkans 6 initiative, the World Bank took a survey of 750 executives. And again, it's no surprise. What are the key drivers of foreign direct investment? Well, of course, new markets, new customers, lowering production costs, new base for exports, and coordination across the value chain. Bosnia, 3.5 million people versus Bosnia as part of a bigger region. The bigger the market, the bigger the opportunity. The more profits, the more production, the more jobs can be created. And also as part of that initiative, you see some key impediments to success. Top down versus bottom up. And what do they mean by that? Starting from the top and driving down through the higher echelons of the region, or actually engaging at the bottom and engaging the people that work in the departments that actually do the delivery and educating them and bringing them up. And they see much greater value in starting at the bottom and coming through that way. Now, I have a slightly different view on that, and I'll talk about that later. Unaligned technical standards. Personal experience that I've had both in my private company and also FlyBosnia, on a daily basis, you understand our systems don't talk to each other. Lengthy investment registration and screening procedures. It took me 9 months to set up a company here. I can do that in 48 hours, online in Australia. And restrictions on capital flows. To invest in my own company, I have to draft a contract between myself and my company to lend money to myself with 5 stamps and all these type of things just to get that happening. If we can simplify that and get goods flowing freely across the region, bigger market supported by simplified processes, it's much easier. So there's a lot of risk associated with doing a project of this enormity, and I can go through a lot of the detail, but I'll just pick some of the highlights. Political, economic and financial, standard normal risks that you deal with. But most importantly, I think the second one is something we need to focus on. Lack of understanding. People fear what they don't understand. So if somebody doesn't understand anything, the first thing, no, can't do it, too hard, no. They're taking our jobs, they're coming in and taking out, not interested, I don't understand it, so I'll just block it and I won't do it. So if we can get a common, simple, clear understanding in the minds of the people, to me that's the first step. Wrong perceptions. I've done business deals from a few $1 million to $10+ billion, right? And when I first came to Bosnia, I was in a board meeting, I said, I've got to go to the airport, I've got to leave. They said, where are you going to? I said, Bosnia. Bosnia? There's a war on there, isn't there? You want to be careful. That's the perception of people out there. We need to market the region and the potential and the beauty of this region much more effectively so that people understand what's going on and they have the right perception of the opportunity. Now, lack of buy-in and ownership. Again, as I said, if people don't understand, they fear it, they block it. And whenever I hear a lot of these initiatives being done, there's a committee doing this or there's some committee doing that. Don't give me committees. Give me a named single person, single point accountability that is going to deliver that particular initiative. If there's one person with their name on it that has to stand up and confront and be judged, you're going to get much more traction, much more effectiveness, a more complete delivery from that individual, as opposed to people hiding behind a committee. Now, complex and inconsistent systems and processes. We have that internally within Bosnia. Different cantons, different processes. You know, systems don't talk to each other. You move or you open up a branch, you've got to go through the whole complete process again. Let alone trying to do that across the region. Guys, this is not hard. Anybody that's worked globally that understands these things, it is seamless, it is simple, it is online, it is scalable, it's predictable, and you know the timeline. Other regions, other countries, other areas across the world are all doing this. And we need to stop and think, do we want to be a part of the future, or do we want to be left behind? Now, to me, it's very, very important to communicate and educate people. And I think not only do we need to start at the top, not only do we need to start at the bottom, but let's take it back into schools. Let's teach this. Let's get children coming through the education process to understand that foreign direct investment is good. It creates jobs. It doesn't take jobs. It makes the country grow. It makes the region grow. Take it into the universities. Make it a mandatory part of the curriculum that people actually understand this. They get this. They're part of the process. From what I've experienced out in the marketplace here, people don't get it. They don't want to know about it. And it seems to me people take pride in blocking the process and saying no, saying why it can't be done, rather than saying how it can be done. It's a mindset change we need to do. And then implementation and delivery. Hold people accountable for delivering. See the whites of their eyes. Get them to come up and show what they've done. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. And if we can get that level of visibility, people will actually stand up and deliver. And I'm a firm believer in not trying to boil the ocean. We can't tackle this everywhere and get 2,000 projects happening and what have you. Let's do a few things really well and then showcase those. Great example in point, I ran telecoms across Africa. Started a small business, built it up to a $10 billion business across 15 countries in Africa. And I decided I was going to implement mobile commerce, banking on a mobile phone, where 80% of the population live on less than $1 a day, and most of them are unbanked. I spent 6 months on the road campaigning to presidents, to bankers, to regulators, on the streets to people, on the streets to businesses, in boardrooms, talking to people, educating them. It wasn't my idea that I wanted to push onto people. It was a concept of goodness and benefit that I wanted to educate people with, so it became their idea. They bought in, they engaged, they understood. So if I get one message across today, that's the message, guys. Great initiatives, great stuff, but you have to capture both the minds and the hearts of people. Ordinary people, people on the street, people in normal jobs, through to all the people that are going to deliver and implement, that this is a good thing. So to me, I've just put a few points down about focusing on success. Establish a common intent. I think that intent is there, and we just need to solidify that, hold hands, join forces and deliver. Establish ownership, single point accountability, as I said before. Educate and engage to establish buy-in. Top down, bottom up, governments, officials, implementers, investors, the average person on the street. If we want to attract investors, they need to know they can make money, they can expand across the region, they can take money and invest money somewhere else, that it's a stable, scalable, repeatable, predictable process. If they don't understand that, there are plenty of other easier places they will go and invest their money. As I mentioned before, don't boil the ocean. Deliver a few things, but deliver them very well. Please, let's focus on fixing our systems. talking to each other, so that once you start a process in one canton and you go right to the end, you go to another canton in another country, you don't have to step back and get every document and go through the process and the stamps and the apostilles and the submissions and the validations and the contracts. Surely if you've done it once somewhere and you've achieved the end goal, that end goal should be the starting point for when you do it in another country in the region or another canton in Bosnia. You shouldn't have to go back to base. So make it easier. Promote. Get out there, talk, communicate, educate. Talk about what's been done. Okay? Once delivery has happened and people have done a great job, celebrate success. Give the publicity. Hey, here's what we've done and here's what we're driving. This is the benefit. This is what's come out of what we've done. And on the flip side of that, learn from experience. Don't hide if you make a mistake. If something goes wrong and you need to change, hey, put your hand on your heart and say, I messed up, but we're doing something else. It's been done before in another area, another region. Let's learn from those mistakes. The mistakes we make and the mistakes others have made. And most importantly, continue to refine, redefine, be nimble, change, adapt, and deliver some results. It's not that hard. It is very simple, but let's get back and create a common understanding. To sum up, the future is now. If we want to make this work, we need to act now, act sensibly, or be left behind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gabriel, for this amazing presentation. Please take your seat. Join us for the first panel. I see more people joining us. Everybody, once again, good morning.